Alright, this video is to show you how to make a basic like maple tree using watercolors. So we're doing this before we start on our finals for my students, and so I'm using a hairline thin brush, and for that there's only like, you know, it feels like 10 hairs on the bristle. And so first off, when doing this, I'm just using scratch paper. But when loading up the brush, when loading up the brush, we want to make sure that we're laying the hair on its side, and you're twisting and rolling it all around so that you can end up getting paint on all the hairs instead of just partially on the bristles. So after doing that, start off by making your lead branch. So that's the trunk of your tree, and you just work your way up the page. After getting your lead branch, then you just got to recognize that all the other branches, they're going to be staggered. What people will tend to do and make a mistake is they copy and paste the branches on both sides and mirror them. You don't want to do that. So figure out where you're wanting to start off your branch. What I feel is a little helpful is if you have a reference of a picture of an actual maple, and then you can see like, oh, okay, it'd be not at middle but a little bit below middle, whatever. But once you make that first branch, you're going to want to actually angle it out at kind of like a slide out and kind of shoot up. And so I'm going to make like 3 or 4 branches on each side. And so that one's just my base, and I'm going to stagger these branches. So I'm going to end up throwing a branch or 2 on each of the lines, but not mirroring them across. So kind of like back, forth, back, forth. And as I'm going up, I'm going to have a slight angle. So the branch, this one laid more at a 45, but now I'm tipping it up, and I'm tipping it up so that it's not all at the exact same angle. That's just how I do it. You can end up making them all exactly the same too. Like I said, it just kind of depends on what look you're going for. But after you get 3 or 4 staggered branches, as you can see here, I just did 3. I did 3, but I have these 3 in between those. So that's all I did for mine. And to get it to look similar to this guy, I need to make sure that each branch has a bunch of branches on it, but they don't look the same. Well, how to make them not look the same is by make sure that, well, for example, I'm going to start with this bottom one, and I'm just going to start at the base of that branch and add a second. And then when I go to my second branch, I'm not going to copy and do the same. So I'm going to have this one start in the middle, and then maybe throw a second one on that same side. But now I'm going to throw one on the flip side. And just do, so there's 3 total on that one. Well, the first one I just threw 1 branch. This guy I'm doing 3. So you just want to make them all different numbered. Just think about that as you're doing it. So whether you're making a line towards the base or doing one in the middle, okay, I did 1, 3, 2, that's all different. So now I'm going to switch to the other side. On this side, I ended up muddying it up, and I ended up going kind of thick right here, not wanting to do that. I'm going to have that just be another branch. So commonly my mess ups, I just try to figure out how can I make it look like it was on purpose. So now I'm going to throw in like 3, 4 branches on this guy. I'm going to throw like a branch on a branch. So as I'm doing it, as you're making more branches, you're going to have less and less water in your brush, so it'll be actually easier to make the small brushes if you just continue. And so I'm going to continue and just knock out as many little small brushes that I can, branches that I can, and then reload my brush. And once I reload, then it's going to be making easier, thicker branches. So pretty much seeing it all done. I feel like it's kind of dead in the top right, so I'm going to throw in another branch or 2. You may want to even go back. I'm going to do this and thicken up the trunk of my tree just a smidge. It wouldn't really make sense to have the trunk of the tree thinner than the branch. So don't make your branches all exactly the same thickness. You want to try to make them thick and then go thin as you go. And so as you're letting out the water, or as you're pressing down on the paper, try to do that. And if you can't, like I did a pretty botched job, it all looked the same, I'm just going back and thickening up the base of the branches, and that's pretty much it. So after you feel like it's good, then just see what little hairline details you can throw in there. You can throw in a couple small branches on it. That's just new growth, and it makes it look more real. Without the little starter baby branches, it just doesn't look as full, and then it looks like it's either a smack dab new tree or it's a dead tree. So anyway, hope that was helpful for you.